Have you ever wondered if a Stone Age caveman and a fearsome saber-toothed tiger could be best friends? Well, what if I told you that those prehistoric pals were waiting for you to draw them and bring them to life? A little silly proposal, perhaps, but in today's session on the Tangles and Tunes channel, we're going to lean into the cartoon side for a little bit, and I'm going to show you a session of my sketchbook drawing. Now, a lot of artists use sketchbooks and they can be used for a wide variety of purposes. Some are kept private, just things that we're practicing, learning, trying out new techniques, getting the creative juices flowing, etc. But other times we actually finish the drawing and it's fun to share that. In this case, I had an idea and I sat down to draw it and I flipped on the cameras thinking maybe you would enjoy seeing this process. Now, I don't normally talk to myself while I'm drawing, but in this case, I of course knew the camera was running and I talked a little bit so that you could kind of hear and think along with me about the process that went into this cartoon. And it's in real time, it's not sped up, so you can actually draw along with me, and I hope that you will. It's a very simple drawing, and as you'll see, just like with our Zentangle art, it's one line at a time. It's not that you sit down and the whole drawing is done. So it's just a step-by-step process, very simple, and I have a little playful fun with it as we go, and I think that you'll enjoy it. So I hope that you'll watch, or better yet, draw along with me, and let's jump right into the video, babbling and all. Here we go. I'm using today one of my small sketchbooks. It's an A6 size, which means it's just over 4 inches and just under 6 inches this way. So roughly 4 by 6 inches. I'll be drawing just on the one side. This just gives us a little more room to flesh out our characters. What we're going to do is we're going to put a character's head, we'll just make some kind of an oval right there. I'm going to draw that a little darker so you can see it, hopefully. And then we know that he's going to have a body, and that's going to be coming down in this general area. He'll have a couple legs. I'm just drawing it like an advanced stick man just to show you. In fact, we're going to make one of his legs come out this way and come up onto a rock. He's going to have an arm coming down here. I'll have another arm going out here. And then we're going to have our saber-tooth tiger. His head's going to be about here, and his legs are going to be coming down about here. His body's going to come back. We're going to probably move him over a little bit. And then he's going to have a big tail coming up in the back, too. I'm going to use a good old-fashioned Bic pen to draw this character. So what we're going to do right over here, I'm going to zoom in for you. We're going to start with a couple eyeballs. We've got the head shape inked out or penciled in there. So I'm going to we're going to put an eyeball down, and right up next to it, another eyeball. Kind of make the dots like he's looking right at you as you're drawing here. And we're going to draw his nose coming out, give him a big old caveman nose. I'm going to flick a little line out there for his lip. Little thing back there for his smile. We already got that. Now we got to draw his head's going to connect over here. We're going to go up, give him a little kind of a pointy caveman head. And then as you come down the side here, we're going to stop, put a little C shape with a wiggle in it. Give him an ear. Simple so far. Now we're going to give him kind of a weird jawbone like a caveman might have, and a nice chin. Now up on this hair, or head rather, we're going to add a notoriously bad haircut. These caveman guys, they just did not really major in barber technique. So he's got a little tuft of hair sitting up there. Now let's make him look a little more goofy and playful. We'll give him a couple teeth there. And we're looking good. So far, we're looking good. Now, let's zoom back out so you can see where we go next. Now we're just going to draw coming out from his chin, about straight across from where I put that tooth. We're going to come out a little bit for a shoulder, and we're going to also come out a little bit right here on this other side. Let's bring it down just below that lip. That's going to be drooping down a little bit further. And he's kind of facing us sideways. So now we're going to draw, let's kind of give a jagged edge here to his fur coat or fur piece that he's got on, and it's going to have some jagged edge coming across this way. So I'm just making this come across his chest there. It's going to end up over here on his belly. And then just bring this more or less straight down. But let's put his arm in here. Nothing fancy here. We're going to come out. We're going to curve that down. And let's give him a little hand there, kind of like that. Like that. Now we're going to stop. Because what we got to do here, we're going to draw a club. Just a big old curved line. And now we'll connect his thumb on that side. And there he's got a hold of it. Now just imagine where this line would come through. And this line comes through. A little curve there. Now let's just add a few funny little wood shapes here. Give that club a shape. And now we know where to go here with this. We can come down. And we're going to bring this down a little bit further. A little bit of a jagged piece here. And it's coming up, and it's going to be drooping over his leg. So I'm going to draw his leg coming out right here. Give him kind of a bony knee. Down. He's got spindly little legs. He's not a terribly muscular guy. And we'll have this hanging across there. Like that. And we probably would see a little bit of that other side coming around there. So we can even shade that in a little. Probably peeking in through here. Now let's bring his other leg straight down here as his knee. And this leg's probably going to go right off the screen, so to speak, right off the page. Okay. And now, let's bring this arm down a little bit and out. It's coming up a little bit there. Now let's build his rest of his body there. He's not terribly fit, as you can see. Not a very muscular guy. Probably hasn't eaten a lot. Let's bring him up here, give him some eyebrows. Couple little lines there by his eyes. Now we're going to take this and draw this hand with fingers coming over, thumb. Just like that. Now what's going to happen here with his foot? Well, let's draw his foot. Big old caveman foot. He's probably got a really big old caveman toe, I would guess. A little bit of a curve there. We can kind of see his other toes peeking through there. He's probably resting that foot on a big old rock. Just like that. A little toenail action going on there. Now, let's get our saber-tooth tiger. His head's going to be right here. This guy's patting him on the head. So what we want to do now is draw where our saber-tooth tiger's nose and ears and all that stuff are going to be. So let's put his nose, which is just like a triangle, upside down triangle. And then we're going to draw these couple shapes, curving up. And now right here, let's give him kind of little slanted kitty eyes. One of them's kind of behind the guy's thumb there. That's all right. And now let's have his tongue hanging out. Let's give him some nice big saber teeth. He is a saber-tooth tiger after all. Now we've got some hair that's sticking out behind here. Got an ear that's in there. And of course, he's going to have some fuzzy parts to his face here. Maybe that other ear peeking out in the back there. Can't fully see it because of the arm. And then we're just bringing his jaw around here. And his feet go down behind so that we've got some ground down in here that people are standing on and critters. So his other foot can come down there. One's there. This body goes back. These are cartoon characters, so don't worry about realism, right? We just want to convey the idea. These legs and his belly are in the shadow there because the lights doesn't get underneath. Now we can add some texture over here to our caveman's clothing. I just wanted to have that appearance of fur, so I'm just making some jagged lines here. And they're probably going to be kind of stretched across this way, right? Just because of the way the material's going to pull there. So we'll create some layered looking lines here. Can add a little bit of shading to his arm and his hands here. Probably some shadow along here where he's hanging onto the club. And that club's probably going to have some shadows going down one side of it here, kind of like that. His leg. My tiger now, he's going to have little flicks out like that. What are these guys doing? Are they just coming off a hunt or they're out looking around? Let's see. Maybe we're going to have a. Oh, let's see. What if we had a big old Brontosaurus here in the background? He's looking over here. He's just way in the background, so we don't worry about details on our Brontosaurus. Just enough very, very light shading to indicate that he's back there. Just using colored pencils here. And I'm even going to give a little yellow hint to his teeth there. He might not stay real white out there in the jungle. And then let's add some orange to him. Leave his belly there white. Right here, I mean. Okay. Let's give our black here a little extra heaviness for our stripes. And let's give him a slightly reddish tongue. And for our caveman, I think he needs a nice brown for his coat here. We'll purposely leave some highlight white spots in our shading here and coloring just to give it some character and also some potential highlight looks, like maybe some sunlight or something glistening on it. And then we'll use another darker brown to add some shades here along the shadow areas and just some differences in the texture, so it's not all one single tone. Just doing this very quickly to give it some life and character. And oh, what color should his club be? That might need to be kind of like a dried piece of wood or something that's not super fresh. So let's add kind of this off color brown. There we go. And we could add a little bit of color, I guess, to our Brontosaurus way there in the background. I'm not sure what color he would like to be, so I'm going to make him an odd sort of greenish hue. Kind of shade him in terribly dark, because like I said, he's in the background. Just adding a little sense of some kind of color to him, though, so he doesn't just blend in with the white. I shade with these lines like this so that it gives a sense of shape to them. So you see how they almost show a sense of round or volume and dimension, even without really showing it. Our shading helps with that, but also the way that we draw our lines. Putting a little more pressure there around his neck. All right. That's pretty good. Now we need some kind of a tone for our guy there. What do I have here that might be like a skin tone, a slightly darker than white anyway? He'd probably have darker skin being out in the sun all day. So we could darken that up here too. Let's just see what this looks like. That helps, but I do think he could have a little bit darker skin. Let me look here. What would this do here? It's a little bit more of a tone. I'm kind of blending these together. And then let's add just a hint of a very light brown if I've got it here. That looks a little more realistic then with his outdoor life. He's going to have probably even darker than I'm making it. But I want to leave some contrast with his coat there and such. And we could put some gray in here for some shadows. Just by doing things like this, it helps the dimensionality of the character coming around a little bit on his face here. I think I want to try to put some variations of orange in my tiger here too, just to bring out some different sense to it. Maybe he's the brightest up where the sun is getting at him better. Well, we're coming to the end of our session for today, and I hope that you enjoyed following along with me. Although it's not a fine-tuned drawing by any means, sketchbook work really is rewarding and beneficial. At the very least, today's session illustrated just how simple it can be to create this type of cartoon drawing. So don't be afraid to try things like this for yourself. Until next time, take care. Bye-bye.